What's up, friends, family, my people? Now, this is going to be a little bit of a fiery message, but I feel like that's what I'm being led to do. Now, in life, you're going to run across people that no matter what you say or no matter what you show them, they not trying to hear you, right? Now, this message ain't for them, even though they should be the main ones listening. This is for the people out there that have eyes to see and ears to hear. Now, you could literally take somebody and be like, yo, your house is on fire. Get their attention and point them in the direction of their house, right? And they'll look at their house on fire and be like, nah, when I bought this house, the realtor said that this type of house don't catch on fire. So, nah, my house ain't on fire. They watching all their belongings burn up. But just because a realtor told them that this type of house don't catch on fire, they won't believe it. That's the most dangerous position to be in, right? So what I want to do right now is show you something they spent thousands of years trying to cover up from us, right? Because I want to make it undeniably clear, proof positive that this is actually the case, family. And I ain't gonna take too much of your time doing it, but I feel like this is very important that we all understand this right here. I got a special guest. Okay, family, so we about to get into a live example. My wife and I are gonna show you that you can do this from the living room couch. Okay, you don't need no crazy multi-million-dollar NASA telescopes or nothing like that. My wife took this beautiful picture just a few days ago. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put on a live example, okay? We're gonna just pick a random spot on the globe, show you the moon map, and show you how you can navigate from there.
Yep.
All right, family, here we go. We got the little cartoon ball. Hold on, before we go, I gotta put my little trip hat on. Since we're going on a journey, okay, let's go. All right, let's get it. Let's zoom in. We're gonna do a spin. Where would it land? Where it's gonna land? Let's go. All right, we somewhere in the water. We ain't gonna use that one. Spin. Where we gonna go? All right. So we are here. Let's zoom in towards the middle. Zooming in. Bay of Bengal. Okay. So we're gonna start from the left where Sri Lanka is at. All right, family, so I put the moon map on the screen. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna navigate. We're gonna go towards the right first, all right? So I landed on Sri Lanka, okay? So let's get hyper specific with this, okay? First of all, let me tell you, they said that this is dried hot lava, these dark spots on the moon that just so happen to line up with all the land that we know on Earth. We know that's absolute crazy talk, okay? And I'm proving it to you right now. All right, so up from Sri Lanka, okay. So we see a little divot right here. As you see my finger, you see a little armpit right here. Look at that little armpit right here.
Armpit.
Little funky armpit. Okay. And then let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. Now you can see on the screen, I have right here where my finger is at. This is the globe, but then you can look to your top left, and that's going to be the moon map. Right now, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the title. There it is, Bay of Bengal, right? And you can kind of come up and you see how it has like, it almost look like, if you turn it this way, it looks like ears almost, okay? So there's the ears. You have the left ear and then you have the right ear right here. Boom and boom, boom and boom. Look at the moon map, same exact lineup, okay? Now this is where it gets a little funky. They try to get a little slick and they try to curve it downward, but you can see the land look a little stretched right here and warped, right? Look at that. Look at the warping right here compared to the smoothness on this side. So they try to warp it right here to try to force this globe right here, okay? And then they have the, what is that? Andam Sea? How do you pronounce that? Andaman.
You the man.
And the man. I'm the man. I'm the man. All right, so let's go back the other way now. And let me zoom in. And we're gonna go from Bangladesh. So Bangladesh is right over the right ear. Oh, convenient. It just so happened to be over the right ear on the moon map. Let's continue navigating. Let's see. I don't want to drop the pen. Okay, in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit. Let's get a little crazy. All right. It's a little really crazy. Kolkata. Can we find Kolkata? Where's Kolkata? Should be right here by the left ear. Oh, there it is. There it is. And we're just above the left ear. Let me zoom out, show you. Yes, the moon map is absolutely correct. And let's make our way back down towards Sri Lanka. Take a look, take a look. All right. Getting back towards the nose. And the tip. And it kind of goes the other way. But we're not here for that. All right. So that's Bay of Bengal. My baby's up.
All right, let's spin.
Spin this big old cartoon ball. What we at?
You know,
Spin again.
Okay.
Okay, what we at? We're gonna zoom in.
Let's see. Indonesia.
Okay.
All right, so we have, see here, we have Indonesia, and it's right there. Okay, and then we're gonna go over, we're going this way. All right, so we see Malaysia right here.
Boom. Oh.
All right, and it goes into the Gulf of Thailand, and then you see Cambodia.
Quit playing.
Vietnam.
Wow.
And then this little island right here. Look at that.
Oh, how'd that get there?
It's right there.
Look at that.
It's right there. That's right
Wow,
there.
old dried hot
Look at
lava.
that one.
That's crazy.
That was good.
And remember, guys, y'all can do this. All you need is a camera. Go outside and take a picture with your phone, with your camcorder. But remember, if you got a Samsung Galaxy, they are putting filters when you take a picture of the moon. They are not going to let you have crystal clear pictures. I don't know how to get around that yet. Maybe you got to
Jailbreak your phone.
You got to jailbreak your phone.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet, but they are definitely putting right angles on top of the moon. So it's like a Snapchat filter. So I wonder why. All right, family. So I hope this helps. Go outside and try this yourself. On that note, friends, family, my people, we're going to get back to the video. We out. So I hope you enjoyed that presentation, family. My wife and I, just the other day, we spent about an hour and a half capturing pictures and video of the moon. And the craziest part is on my phone, I realized that they was actually putting like a little Snapchat filter over the moon on my phone. Like, it's really crazy. But we had a good time out there, and you can do this yourself. And I just want to spell it out one more time, family. I want to make it abundantly clear. The Earth cannot be a ball if you are looking at all the continents at the same time on the surface of the moon, family. The Earth cannot be a ball if you are looking at America and you are looking at Australia at the same time. They're supposed to be opposite of the globe. China's supposed to be on the other side of the globe. Okay, my family in Cali, we used to make jokes. We digging a hole in the ground. We gonna dig all the way to China, right? How can China be on the other side of the globe, family, when you are looking at all continents at the same time? Okay, and if anybody's denying this, they are literally telling you that this old hot lava just so happened to dry like all the continents around the whole globe. Okay, now there's a big patch on the other side of the moon. We don't know that land, all right? We don't have access outside of the Antarctic Circle, but that does not mean that they're not there, family. Now, before you think you know what the Earth looked like because of some pictures that NASA gave you, I want to show you a collage right here. Look at the Earth from 1997 to 2012, right? How does land literally triple in size? These are official pictures from NASA. How does the land of America literally triple in size? It's important to think about what the current Earth model is right now. It's called heliocentric. But do you know who Helio is? Helio is a Greek god, a sun god. They worship the sun, and they care so little about you intellectually that they literally name their Earth model, where the Earth goes around the sun, heliocentric, centered around Helio, a pagan sun god. Now, before I get out of here, I got one more important point I want to make, okay? Now, if you know what these are, these pillars right here, these are Freemasonic pillars, right? They call them Boaz and Jachin. Now, look at the top of these two pillars right here, right? One obviously has a globe on top, and the other one has a bunch of other zodiac signs, right? Unmistakable. These are Masonic pillars. They say they symbolize Solomon, but they always invert things, right? Research what these pillars are. This is a very important message that needs to be said. See, I'm old enough to remember in the Bay Area, on stage at the Kingdom Hall, there was these two pillars, right? These same Masonic pillars. In fact, we used to put them on stage in the beginning and take them off at the end of the meeting, okay? Then they got real slick with it and started making them part of the actual decoration. They put them against the wall. But as you can see, at the top of these pillars, they still span out because they still symbolize these same Masonic pillars. Now, this is not going to be an easy message to say, but it needs to be said. Jehovah's Witnesses are not only founded, but they are still based on Freemasonic ideals. Okay, now if you look at their broadcasting, you can see right there on stage, they always leave a big enough span between the speaker and the screen behind them. Look at that screen. This map right here is an illustration of the ball earth map. And they always make sure that they put it right into the programming. It's front and center stage. In fact, if you go to some of the Bethels, they have the globe right there in the lobby, right there front and center, right? But what else do you notice about this JW broadcasting? Look to the left and look to the right of him. Look at these pillars right here. This is not just framing, family. This is subliminal to the pillars that they were founded on. But could it just be some kind of coincidence, right? Maybe the governing body just don't know that the earth is topographical and not moving. Think again, family. They have rewritten the Bible at least 5 major times. And each time they rewrite the Bible, they get further and further away from the original Hebrew and Greek scriptures. 1 John chapter 4, verse 1 says, "Do not believe any teacher, but verify all things." That is a scriptural command from the Almighty. Who cares what these people tell you to do and not do? You have to listen to what the scriptures tell you, right? And this is why it's important, because in Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, it says, "If you knowingly refuse information and you reject it, he will reject you." Okay, so at the end of the day, this is only going to make your conviction even more stronger if you research what's going on in the scriptures or what they're telling you. Either A, you're going to have to rearrange some of your thinking to make it align with the scriptures, or B, you already believe in the right thing, so you don't have anything to do, okay? But you need to do the research. I've uncovered some of the original Bethel buildings, right? Look in the lobby. We talked about the pillars, right, being Freemasonic. Look at the floors in the lobby. These black and white checker floors. These are the same checker floors you'll see in every Freemasonic lodge and in major Catholic churches. Now, before you think, well, that's old news, that's the way they used to think, they used to have all these other things. No, family. Even the new Bethel has the crowning cross in their display area along with Charles Taze Russell, somebody that they said they had no association with no more, right? They will literally tell you to stop talking to your family and you will be shunned from everybody if they found out you was doing anything spiritualistic or satanic in their opinion. They will tell you to don't talk to anybody in the congregation. But they got this guy right on the wall, prominent in the new Bethel. And now that I'm pointing it out, you'll start to see their fascination with the planet Saturn, okay? Look at the kids' room on the wall on these JW cartoons. Saturn is everywhere. Look inside the locker. Saturn is everywhere. But why Saturn? Do some research on what Saturn actually symbolizes. They say it's the 6th planet, right, in the solar system from the sun, right? But do some research on Saturn, right? It just so coincidentally have a non-stop hexagon 6-sided storm going on at the top of Saturn at all times. This is a little less known. Look at the bottom of Saturn, supposedly, right? This is who knows if any of this is real. It's all CGI. But look at what they show you on the bottom of Saturn, right? It just conveniently has the all-seeing eye of Ra also at all times. Now, I know this may sound a little crazy, right? But if you actually look into what these planets and what the stars actually are from the scriptures, they actually tell you what they are. The stars are a class of luminary angels. I know it sounds crazy, but do your research. These things are alive. They are sentient. The scriptures actually tell us that these angels, these stars, are going to stray from their set path, and that the people on earth are going to start to worship them. Now, if you do your scriptural research, you can look at the book of Enoch. Remember, first Enoch is inspired. It's always been in the Ethiopian canon, right? Now, second Enoch and third Enoch is a different story. That came years later, and they came to try to discredit what the first Enoch said. So, clutch, first Enoch, that's where it's at. And if you do your research on Saturn, you will see that Saturn led the charge on the deception in the skies. And that's why Saturn literally has visible restraints on it. That's what those rings are, and this is scriptural. Now, before I get out of here, I got one more bit of information I want to show you, okay? Now, if you go to the jw.org website right now, type in, what is the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses? And I want to show you this. It's going to be a little disturbing, but I got to show it to you because it's still there. You go to their website, right? What is the governing body? You got all these men sitting around the table in this little black and white photo, but you notice that there's like a little mistiness to it, right? But what I want you to do is I want you to zoom in, and I want you to scroll to the right. You see this guy on the laptop, right? But what do you see right in his belly? This is on the official website, right? This ghoul is blowing some kind of smoke, and it is infecting not only the laptop, but it is in the crowns of the heads of all of these members. Nobody can say that I put this on here with Photoshop or anything like that. It is still up there right now. Go in there right now and take a look at this. There is this ghoul right here. You see the pupil of his eye and everything like that. There's like a little black thing with his mouth open, also blowing some kind of gas. Why is the title of this, what is the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses, and not who, right? Aren't they people? What's the what about? What is the governing body? And you got this face on his lap. They are trying to make it abundantly clear to you what is going on with this organization. This is a demonic organization, and I have friends and family in it, and this is not an easy message to say, but I got to tell it like it is, okay? This is out of love. Hopefully this is going to wake some people up. Share this message, subscribe to the channel if it's still up, go to Rumble, subscribe to that family. On that note, again, shout out to my beautiful wife for making that special guest appearance on the show. On that note, friends, family, my people, we out.